Okay, guys, so this is a training to basically show you how to use the online system for doing, visual fields and visual function testing. So I just want to show you a couple of pictures, before I jump into showing you the actual online system. So I just want to check, can you see my screen right now? So, okay, good. So I think first I will start with the clinic-based testing. So can you see the screen now, the picture? Okay. So basically, this is just a high-level view of how clinic-based testing works. So the patient, it's shown in the form of a visual diagram. So the patient walks into the clinic and he's tested on the MRF applications, which is basically online. So that can be done using any laptop or desktop. That's it.
To set up a shop where I need like a futuristic monitor. They don't really have any computer monitor that looks.
So sorry, there was a disturbance. So yeah, so basically the patient can be tested, in the clinic using the clinic laptop or desktop. And then once the testing is done, the results will be automatically emailed to the nominated doctor in the clinic, and can also be shared with other doctors or other staff, if required. And then based on the results, the clinic can advise the patient. So that's a simple picture showing how the clinic-based testing works. Now, the other way to do it is the home-based testing. So I hope you can see my screen now with the diagram showing the home-based testing. So basically, in this, what happens is that the clinic advises the patient to do the test at home, let's say every 3 months or every 6 months or whenever the need is. And clinic basically, for the first time, he guides the patient to do the test over the phone. Just do some simple checks, make sure the patient is following certain checks. And then the patient does the test at home. And then the results are automatically emailed to the doctor or to the clinic. And then the clinic can advise the patient. So these are the two main ways that, the online system works. I will now actually take you into the online system and show you how how doctors and clinics can use this. So can you see my screen now with the online portal login? Yeah, so this is a screen basically where you will actually log into the system, and the way you get to the screen is that you go to the website appviewmrf.com, which is the AppView Technologies website. And at the top you will see that there is a link called login. So basically you need to press on that login, which is over here, as you can see where my cursor is. And when you press login, you will go straight to the screen. So when a doctor or clinic, subscribes to the online system, we will provide them a username and password, using which they can log into the system, which they will enter over here. And then basically you press sign in to get into the system. And as you can see here, this shows you, the main screen of the online system, which is basically showing you, your doctor code, which is a unique code that's given to your clinic, and the number of tests that you have. So you can see that here I have 10 tests remaining. Um, and you can, see your team members, and you can also, basically see all the patients that are in your clinic that basically are, subscribed to your clinic or are basically recorded in your clinic. Now, you can add new patients using this button called Add Patient. So when you press on Add Patient, you can see that, you can, enter some details and create a new patient account. I'll just come back to it. If you have an existing list of patients that you want to import into the system, you can use this particular feature. It's called Import Multiple Patients. So using this, you can import all your patients that you already have into the system, using an Excel file. So that's the way you add patients. And here are all the patients that basically, you will have in your system. So let's get into, how to basically add a patient. So basically, I'll show you right here how to do that. So I press on add patient button, and it just asks for very simple things like, a unique ID that you can give to the patient. So let's say this clinic name is, Best Eye Clinic. So let's say we give the patient ID Best Eye 001, and the patient name could be, let's say, anything. Could be, let's say, you know Sudhir uh, Gupta. uh, and you enter the date of birth of the patient. So let's say the date of birth of the patient is 1st January 2000. So this is how you will enter the date of birth of the patient, which is date, month, and then the year. And then you can add some comments if you want to regarding that patient. So you can say hi IOP, and something like headaches, let's say. So these are some of the things that you can enter, anything that you want to enter. And then here you can actually uh, you know um, basically allocate tests to that particular patient. So let's say if that patient were to do the tests at home, you can allocate them certain tests over here. So let's say over here I allocate them 2 tests. So I just press 2, and then I press add patient. So now, as you can see, this particular patient is in the system. It says unique ID is best I001, name Sudhir Gupta, age. This age is, there is a, we need to fix this. It's not showing correctly at this point, but the year of birth is here, and there are some comments. And you can see that the patient account has 2 tests that you allocated to them. Now, one of the features here you see is top up and withdraw. So what you can do using these 2 buttons is you can, provision or add more tests to the patient account, or you can actually withdraw. So let's say the doctor thinks that this patient needs to do 5 tests. So over the next 3 months, so they can top up the patient account. So they press the top up button, and when you press the top up button, you can see that the patient has more tests now. It's got 3. So you can top up more. So it goes up to 4. And if you want to withdraw the test, you can withdraw. So I withdraw here right now. So let's say I bring it back to 2. So you can see you can use the top up and withdraw buttons to add tests to the patient account or withdraw tests from the patient account. Now, the other thing is you see a button here, edit tests. When you press edit tests, you can actually assign which tests the patient can do. So at this point, you can see it's visual acuity and visual field 24-2, which is the perimetry that the patient can do. But you can also take visual field 10-2, which is the macular test. And you can also take the low luminance, low contrast acuity, which means that the patient can now do all the 4 tests, and you can submit. So basically, edit tests, this feature can be used to provision what tests you want the patient to do. And then, this is a unique URL, as you can see here, telehealth URL. This is a unique URL that can be generated and given to the patient to do the test at home. So the way it works is, so actually I'll show you the home-based testing now. So basically, the way it'll work is that you press this button, copy to clipboard, and this unique URL is then copied onto the clipboard, and you can actually email this particular URL to your patient. And then the patient, what they can do is at home, they can go to their computer and paste this URL and press enter. Now, when they go press enter, they will see this login screen. They will have the clinic code, which is over here. This is a unique code for the, let's say, the Best Eye Clinic. And the patient just needs to enter their year of birth, which we entered as 01/01/2000, and they can enter. So once the patient is in the at home, they can log in like this. and they can actually do the test at home. And you can see the patient has two tests, right? So this is the patient screen. This is the difference. This is the patient screen, and this is the clinic screen. So patient will not see all these features like, clinic account and, creating new patient. Patient will not see that. Patient will only see how many tests he has, and he can do the test. All right. So now let's get back into the clinic account, um, and let's actually do a test. So let's say now the same patient, Sudhir Gupta, instead of doing the test at home, he walks into the clinic, and the doctor wants to do the test. So this is the button that he needs to press, start test button. So we just press the start test button here. So you can see that once you press the start test button, basically this is the main screen where the testing will happen. And the very first step is to actually calibrate your computer or your screen for doing the testing. This is a very important important step, because this allows the software to adjust itself to your particular screen size, and also to the pixel density and all the other laptop or desktop specific screen specific features that the software needs to adjust to, so that the test can be done properly. So this is a very important step, and the way it works is that it's very simple. What you do is you basically use any standard bank card or credit card like this, and you can use this to calibrate your screen. So I will just pull out my card here and show you, how it works. So this is a card I have, and when I press the start calibration button,
calibration is important to ensure the test is displayed on the screen correctly. Click the plus or minus toggle buttons to adjust the width of the white outline to just fit the short side of a standard bank card or credit card. Click the done button when finished.
So basically, the patient or the clinic can use any standard bank card or credit card like this, and across the world, the size is same for all credit cards and bank cards. So it doesn't matter which card, any card can be used, to calibrate your screen. And this step needs to be done only once per computer. So once this calibration step is done, then you don't need to repeat it for every patient. It only needs to be done once. So as you can see, I will use this card and I will place it on my screen. And then using my mouse, I can press the plus minus button to basically adjust the width of this outline to the width of my card. So basically what I'm doing right now, which you can probably see, is that I'm pressing the minus button to reduce the width of this particular outline to match my card. And the card needs to be held against the screen like this, vertically, okay, not horizontally, vertically. So that's what you need to do. So I'm just adjusting it, just give me a sec. So I'm reducing the width of this boundary. As you can see, the width is shrinking. And once it becomes equal to my card, I will stop. One second. Yeah, let me just do this, on this other screen, because I think this is an attached monitor. So I need to do this here. So yeah, so now I'm just adjusting this once, and it'll only be done once. Yeah. Oh, okay, one second. Sorry, I think I actually made a mistake. I was putting it at the wrong position. Let me just put it at the right position like this, and now I'm adjusting it. Sorry. So I'm almost done. So basically, yes. So my card width is now equal to the width on the screen. and then I can press the done button. So as you can see, I have now calibrated my screen for the software. Sorry, that took a while because I was actually I was putting my card in the wrong position. So basically now the calibration has been done. As you can see at the top, there is the patient name, and you can also, one cool feature is you can actually change the language of the test. So you can see at this point we have English and Hindi. So you can choose any of them, but obviously we'll add more languages as we go along. So at this point, we just choose English. Now the next step is the first, I think, test that should be done is the visual acuity test. And this step basically tests your visual acuity. And, basically it's important to do this test first because it also sort of helps determine, if your eyes are sort of, okay to do the test from the distance that we need to for the visual field test, which is the next test. Now, a few things to remember when you do the tests. One is that there should be no bright lights or glare on the screen when you do the test. So ideally, it should be like a dark or semi-dark room with no bright lights. Secondly, the brightness of your computer screen should be set to maximum for for the best possible efficiency of the test. And you need to cover your one eye, and do the test with the open eye. So one eye at a time, and you need to maintain the correct distance from the screen, which in this case for visual acuity is actually 50 centimeters. As you can see here in the picture, it should be 50 centimeters or 20 inches. All right, and the way to do is very simple. You use an A4 size paper. If you got a viewing shield, that's even better. But if you don't have one, then you can use an A4 size paper like this. And the way to do it is you have to 50 centimeters is very easy to measure. So it's actually 30 plus 20. So this is 30, this length is 30, and this width is 20. So what you do is from the screen you measure 30, like holding the paper like this, and then you basically add another 20 to it. So you just add 20 like this, and then this is the correct distance. So basically this is where your face should be when you do the acuity test. So now it's good if the patient can maintain this distance once it's measured, or you can use a tape as well if you've got a tape in your clinic or your home to measure 50 centimeters from the screen. But this is an easy way to do it using an A4 size paper. So now maintaining this distance, I will start the test, the visual acuity test, which is first for the left eye. So you need to cover your right eye. I need to do it for the left eye first.
This is a test of your visual acuity. Please wear your spectacles for near vision if you need them. Close or cover the eye not being tested. Press one of the four shapes on the bottom of the screen that matches the one in the center of the screen. If you are unsure, press the question mark on the bottom left-hand side of the screen. Good. 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 Try again. Try again.
So as you can see, this test is pretty quick, and the left eye is already done. So you can see the result is also being shown here. It's Snellen 6/19 or 20/63. And similarly, I'll do my right eye now. So maintaining the same distance, I will cover my left eye. And this can be done in the clinic using a ocular patch or a proper way, but I'm just using my hand for this demonstration. So I'll press the right eye button.
This is a test of your visual acuity. Please wear your spectacles for near vision if you need them. Close or cover the eye not being tested. Press one of the four shapes on the bottom of the screen that matches the one in the center of the screen. If you are unsure, press the question mark on the bottom left-hand side of the screen.
So you need to press the right figure at the bottom by looking at the top figure, and you need to match the C on the screen. And if you're not sure, you need to press the question mark.
Good. 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 Good.
So the right eye is done. So you can see the result is also shown here, Snellen 6/4-8 or 20/16. So once you finish this step is over now. And once you finish this step, you press this button, next step. And when you press the next step, you will go to the next test, which is the visual field test. This is the, the main perimetry test. For this one, again, you need to maintain the correct distance as is shown in the figure. So in the figure, it shows we've got to maintain 50 centimeters from the screen. So we will do the test using 50 centimeters. And I think this distance can also vary depending on your screen size. So I think in my case, my screen is bigger, so that's why this distance is also bigger. But if you got a smaller screen, then sometimes this will be 33 centimeters. Okay, so for my case, it's 50. So I'll maintain 50 centimeters again, and I'll start the left eye. So again, you need to cover one of the eyes to do this, and then you need to test one eye at a time. And if you wear any spectacles, you need to keep wearing those spectacles. And you can also actually, if you're doing this test in a clinic, you can also use this trial frame calculator. So you can enter your right eye spherical axis and all those conditions, like if you got a phakic eye or not, and it'll actually calculate a trial lens calculation for you. So I'll start the left eye.
Hello, welcome to MRF Visual Field Application.
Guys, just checking, can you see my screen? Okay, good. So yeah, so I will start the test. As you can see, there's a fixation target at the center, and we will start the test by clicking on the square box, and you can use your mouse to click on it.
We will now test your left eye. Please close or cover your right eye. Please ensure your face is 50 centimeters or 20 inches in front of the screen. The first test is a practice test. Press the screen every time you see a gray dot appear. Press the screen to start. Great. Now, keep your right eye covered. Use your left eye to focus on the red dot in the center.
So now the first part of the test is complete. Now I will do the main full test.
Please keep your focus on the red dot.
And you can see that the false positive and false negatives are also shown at the top left of the screen.
Please keep your focus on the red dot. Please keep your focus on the red dot.
So the software also
Please
reminds
keep your
you
focus on the red dot.
to keep the focus if you're losing fixation. Now my test is, I'm doing it while doing this training, so may not be very accurate. You can see this weird sound when you're basically doing some false positives.
Now, keep focus on the red dot in the lower left corner.
So now the fixation target has moved to the bottom left. So you need to keep looking at the bottom left.
Please keep your focus on the red dot.
And those who are watching the training video can actually
Please keep your focus on the red dot.
Can actually fast forward it if they don't want to go through the whole test, so that they can just get the idea of, you know, how to.
Great. Now, keep focus on the red dot in the lower right corner. Please keep your focus on the red dot. Please keep your focus on the red dot. Now, keep focus on the red dot in the top right corner.
I'll actually turn off my video for a while until I do this test.
Please keep your focus on the red dot. Please keep your focus on the red dot. Good. Now for the last part of the test. Keep focus on the red dot in the top left corner.
Now the last part of the test is the fixation target is in the top left, and basically it covers the full 24-2 by moving to the four corners, especially if your screen size is not big enough.
Please keep your focus on the red dot. Please keep your focus on the red dot. Please keep your focus on the red dot. Excellent. The test is now complete for this eye. Press the screen to see your results. Press again to return to main screen.
So if you see here where we've done the test for the left eye, and you know, you can actually see the results or you know, in the end after you save the test, but you can pretty much see what it's like over here. So you can see this is the result, and you can see a green, amber, red kind of indicator. So the results are obviously abnormal. I, you know, obviously didn't do the test properly to show that, you know, it's catching the defect. So let me just go back to that screen now. 1 second. Okay. Yeah. Okay, 1 second. I'm just figuring out, going back to that screen. Anyway, so I think, yeah, so I'm sorry, I'm back to that screen now. So as you can see, you know, the left eye is completed. I wouldn't do the right eye. It's the same way you do it. And in the same way, you will then, once you complete the both the eyes, you will press the next step button. And then you go to the step 4, which is the macular field test. Now, this test is again very good for testing the macular vision, and very good for diabetics as well, because in diabetics you get macular edema, and it's very good to sort of detect if there's any problem in the macula using this test. So I will again do one of my eyes. So let's say I'll do my right eye, and we'll check the test, how this 10-2 test is done.
Hello, welcome to MRF Visual Field Application. Press the screen every time you see a gray dot appear. Press the screen to start.
So this is the same kind of test, but it's more in the central region. So I'm pressing the button every time I see a white or gray dot appear. And it also records the false positive and false negatives at the top, and if there's any fixation losses in the red text, as you can see.
Please keep your focus on the red dot.
Also gives a sound when you actually hit a false positive. So in this test, I think
Excellent. The test is now complete for this eye. Press the screen to see your results.
So the fixation target remains in the center because, like I said, it tests for the central region. It's a 10-2 test. And you can see the results here. Well, you can see the results in the end as well. So we'll see the results in the end. So once you're done, I will only do one eye just for the demonstration. And when we move to the next step. This is the last part of the test. So this is the full suite of tests we have at this point. There's 4 tests. There's the visual acuity, which we did the first one. Then we have the visual field test, the full perimetry. Then we have the macular field test, and then lastly we have the low luminance, low contrast. And this again, low luminance, low contrast is very good for diabetics, especially for testing diabetic retinopathy. And also the Acuity basically. So let's start this one. I'll do one eye. So again, I'll do my right eye. You need to maintain that 50 centimeter. So we already maintained that distance using this paper before, so I won't repeat that test. I won't repeat the distance measuring because I think you just got to be in the same position really when you do the test. So I'll press the right eye to start the test.
This is a test of your visual acuity. Please wear your spectacles for near vision if you need them. Close or cover the eye not being tested. Press one of the 4 shapes on the bottom of the screen that matches the one in the center of the screen. If you are unsure, press the question mark on the bottom left-hand side of the screen. Good.
So again, you gotta choose the right shape from the bottom.
Good.
And if you're not sure, you need to press the question mark.
Try again.
Button.
Good. Try again. Try again.
Yes. So now we have completed the right eye. As you can see the result over here. And we're at the final step now. And when you press this button, save this episode, your test will be deducted from your account, which means you have done all the tests. So make sure you only press this button after you've completed all the tests. Otherwise, your test will be deducted. And if you've not completed a couple of tests, you won't be able to do them again. So you need to do all the tests and then, press the save this episode button. So I'm going to press the save this episode button, and now the results will be saved to the cloud. And you can see here that you got you got this patient over here, and the results are all actually listed in this arrow that you see. So if you press this, you can see all the results here. So this is our the visual field test, the left eye. This is our the visual the macula 10-2. um, Then we have our uh, yeah, this one I think is for the query, but the query results are shown here. So you can see the visual acuity results over here, the low luminance low contrast result over here. And these are some of the details of the perimetry that we did. So this is the detailed data, which I think is more important for doctors. But usually, I think the doctors only look at this one. Really, this has all the fields like false positive, false negatives, your mean deviation, your pattern deviation, and obviously this red, amber, green color code to indicate immediately if there is a problem or not. And this obviously is, you can always increase the size to see this more properly. And the other thing is that once the test is complete, the result will automatically be emailed to the nominated doctor. So in this case, this account is in the name of, Clinic Positron. So the email will already have gone to the, the basically the that particular email that's nominated, right? So let's just go back into the system. So you can see here that we added this patient best eye. These are all the patients here, and you can see that they did the test, and that test is here. Now this particular patient has one more test remaining, so they can do one more test. But if you want to see any other patient, you can scroll to the list, and you can see their tests they have done and everything. And at the top here, it shows how many tests you have. You can also, nominate team members. So you can add a new member. So let's say I add a new member. Let's say, Bobby uh, Balbir. So I just add their email, balbir.posse at apumrf.com. And once I save this, then the result will also go to this particular team member. So this can be another doctor or an assistant or a nurse or whoever that is. So that's how you can add and remove new members really. So yeah, so that's how you basically do that, and then you go back here. Now talking about the patient testing at home. So remember how we created a new patient account from here, and once we've done that, we basically are able to create a unique URL. So by going into that patient, which is this patient Sudhir Gupta here, we go here, and we can create the unique URL from here. So this is the place. So we copy that, and remember how we went to that URL and we entered it. So this same test, exactly what I showed you, can be done from home. If the patient enters the system using his date of birth, and once he completes the test, the result will go immediately back to the nominated doctor, in this case, which will be the positron clinic and any associated team members. So yeah, so this is what it is, and it's very simple. So the two ways to do the test again is in the clinic or at home, and you can see your full account, in the system over here. You can see all your patients here. You can see how many stars you have remaining. You can even create folders. You can create new folders to basically categorize your patients. So let's say you want to say these are diabetic patients. So you create a folder called diabetes patients, and you have this folder over here, and then you can assign these patients to different folders. So let's say best eye is a diabetic patient, so we can assign this to diabetes patients, and then this particular patient goes into this folder. So if you go to diabetes patients, you can see there's one patient over here. So you can create new folders, and so let's say I can create a glaucoma patients folder, and I can put patients into those folders. So yeah, so thank you very much. I think this is what the training is. It's very easy to use, very self-intuitive system. I don't think you should have any problems. As far as the technology behind the tests and what it all does, how to interpret the results and everything, that I think are separate technical presentations on that. This was more to show you how to do the test using the online system, and this is a big advancement over our previous launch, where we launched the offering on an iPad, but now the test can be done online. So you don't need an iPad, you can do it on any laptop, any screen that you have. So I'm happy to take any questions if you have.